Okay, guys, we're going to learn about relative frequency distributions. Now, look what it says here. Distributions can be converted to distributions using proportions instead of raw data frequencies. Now, when you convert from using raw data as our frequencies, which we did in questions 6 and 7, and we create graphs, we can call those type of graphs and those kind of distributions as relative frequency graphs or relative frequency distributions. And basically, a relative frequency is the probability or the percentage, if you want to call it percentage, of each category, of each class. We can call that the empirical probability if you so choose to. And to find the relative frequency is pretty straightforward. The relative frequency is going to be the class frequency divided by the total frequency. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to construct a relative frequency distribution for question 7. And remember, in question number 7, it had us construct a grouped frequency distribution. So let's take this table and let's make a relative frequency distribution. So we have scores. I'm going to call this relative frequency. And what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to put one more column for percentages. Because when you create a relative frequency distribution, you can use those probabilities to find the percentages just by moving the decimal over to the right by 2 spaces. $79 to $82. Let's make some more space down here as well. So let's just make some more room. We had 83 to 87. 83 to 86, excuse me. 87 to 90. And then we have total. Okay. Now remember, to find the relative frequency, it is the class frequency divided by the total frequency. Number 7, for the first class, the frequency was 4. The total frequency is 16. So when I want to find the relative frequency, that is going to be 4 divided by 16. And when we use our calculator, 4 divided by 16 is 0.25, which is 25%. The frequency for the class of 79 to 82 was also 4. So, once again, repeat the same process. Take the class frequency, which is 4, divided by the total frequency, which is 16, 0.25, or 25% again. For the class of 83 to 86, the class frequency is 5. So that's going to be 5 divided by 16. I want to divide that is 0.3125, which is going to be 31.25%. And the last class had a frequency of 3. So that is going to be 3 divided by 16, which is 0.1875, or 18.75%. The total of my relative frequencies, when you add that together, is equal to 1. Remember, when it comes to probability, the total probability for all outcomes in a sample space for your probability experiment must be 1. And when you add all the percentages, you get 100%. Sometimes you can receive 0.99. Sometimes you can receive 1.01. That is because of your rounding. If you're rounding and your number is not 1, if it's like 0.999 or rather 1.001, don't stress it too much. It's because we're rounding. We're not using the exact value. And that is a relative frequency distribution. All right, guys. I'll see you soon. Take care.